welcome. We are the Kirby family. My name is Tessa.
I'm Guy.
And we are here sitting in our newly refinished kitchen and dining room. If you followed me on my blog lately, you've seen that we have teamed up with Lowe's Home Improvement to give you an entire kitchen remodel.
So we are here to talk about how we refinished our 100-year-old wood floors.
So the process of renovating this house had a lot of challenges, especially since this house is a 100-year-old farmhouse. But the biggest challenge that we faced was refinishing these 100-year-old floors.
So with the floors, almost every room had different finishes. Some still had the carpet, while others had different layers of flooring. All in all, our goal was to take off all the layers and bring back to life the beauty of what we have now.
We didn't even know when we bought this house if the kitchen had hardwood floors underneath it. It was covered in a couple different layers of flooring. And so when we started this renovation process, it was a huge blessing to find the hardwood floors underneath, but they looked like this.
So the material on top of this floor is called tar paper, and people use this as a moisture barrier, especially in their kitchen, with the potential of water seeping through and adversely affecting the floors. So we had to figure out how we were going to get through this tar paper in order to sand the floors to match the rest of the house. So we had dealt with tar paper before in the past on another renovation of ours, and we found out that trying to sand the tar paper off didn't do anything. It just smudged up the tar paper and flung it on the walls, which was not a pretty sight to see. We had actually tried a few different methods, and it wasn't until this house that we found out what we think has been the best method so far. What we did was buy a wallpaper remover steamer, and that just worked magically, and it took us less time, less work, and we couldn't be more happy with how the wood floors turned out.
So once you got the tar paper off, we were able to start sanding the floors. But honestly, that's not when we overcame the hurdle that is these floors. So when we bought this house, the first thing that guy did was remove all the carpet and start sanding all the floors. And the sander that he used throughout the entire house was an orbital sander, which was perfect for the other floors because the floors really weren't in bad condition. They were just a little rough in places and had some sun damage and things like that. But the orbital sander was great for those floors. But when it came to the kitchen, we found out that wasn't really the case.
As we were starting to sand the kitchen floors with the orbital sander, we were noticing that the floors really weren't sanding away very much. We were going over them multiple times and layers weren't coming off as easily. Not knowing exactly how to move forward, we decided just to go ahead and lay the stain down to see how those floors would take the stain.
So unfortunately, the stain did not take the way that we had hoped it would. Because the orbital sander hadn't cut into the wood like we needed it to, the stain set completely different than the rest of the flooring, making it a completely different color than everything else. So we decided to
take it off.
We researched a little bit more and found out that we needed a belt sander instead of an orbital sander.
Because the floors had been covered for so long, they'd become even more brittle and harder to remove layers than the rest of our hardwood floors. So with the belt sander, we went through the same steps that we did with the orbital sander. It's just now we're using a different type of sander that was taking layers of wood off differently and more aggressively.
As you can see from the video that was shown, this belt sander was, like I said, much more aggressive in taking the stain off, but also taking off what was underneath the stain to begin with, what the orbital sander was not cutting into.
When using the belt sander, we started with 20 grit sandpaper, and we gradually worked our way up to 100 grit sandpaper. The lower your grit for sandpaper, the more coarse that paper is going to be, and it's going to take more of the wood off for each pass. And then slowly, as we work our way to 100 grit, that is taking off any of the imperfections that the sandpaper then has created as we're going over the floors. And that 100 grit is going to create a smoother finish. just to make the floors look beautiful and
Feel beautiful.
look newer. Another important note to remember as you're sanding floors is always to go with the grain of the wood. You'll notice in the videos that we're never going across boards, we're always going with.
So after we used the belt sander, we used the same exact stain that we used in the rest of the flooring, and the way that the wood absorbed the stain was exactly how the rest of the house did. And so we had, in fact, a perfect match.
We placed 1 coat of stain on, and we used a water-based, oil-modified polyurethane, which creates a barrier for your everyday wear and tear.
We hope that if any of you out there are experiencing the same, you can watch this video and be encouraged to know that you are not alone and that you can do it. We'll be linking the wallpaper steam remover below so that you can see exactly what we used. And now that we know, we hope to share our knowledge with all of you in hopes that you can make your home renovation the best one yet. Thanks for watching, guys.
See you guys next time.